Is there a person who doesn't know that he doesn't need to tithe? There isn't one. But I guarantee you, there's a lot of people who know something here, but when it comes to the stack, it's a different story. One time, St. Paul was speaking to a group of people who were poor. But like poor, poor, poor. Not like me and you, America, poor. Not like my stocks are down, poor. Not like I can't afford the movie channel, poor. Like real people, poor. And he said the following, 2 Corinthians chapter 8, verse 2 and 3. He said, he's speaking to them, that in a great trial of affliction, the abundance of their joy and their deep poverty abounded in the riches of their liberality, meaning generosity. For I bear witness that according to their ability, yes, and beyond their ability, they were freely willing, speaking about to give. He's speaking to a group of people who was really poor, but despite their really poorness, they still gave, not just to their ability, but beyond their ability. People who have a big stack trust in their stack. People who have a small stack can't trust in the stack because it's so small, so what they do is they trust in God. Because my stack isn't big enough to put any trust in, because it's a measly little stack, I put my trust in God, and He'll take care of the stack. But the problem is when the stack gets bigger, the trust also shifts with it. I'll give you a plain example that I witnessed in my own life. Okay? True story. This is about a certain young priest, okay, which we won't mention any names, okay? But, God has always blessed this young priest. Financially, never been hurt. He's got to admit, never been hurting. Good family, okay, it's me. So, I've never been hurting financially. Good family always took care of me. Like, I've always been blessed beyond what I need. Beyond. I can't say I've ever struggled, financially with anything. But despite that, those who know me know I'm a bit of what you would call, what's the right term? A tightwad. Okay, would that be an accurate term? Okay, a tightwad. Okay, meaning a bit miserly. Okay, I call it financially efficient. Okay, most people call it cheap. You call it what you want. You call it what you want, but I'll tell you this, that when it comes to like eating out, for example, you're not likely to run into me and my wife eating out, okay? It's not very likely that you will walk into a fine establishment and see us there. Unless we are, meeting someone there just to take them away and go to the McDonald's. It's not likely that you would go to a restaurant and see us right there. The only times that I go out to eat, and someone actually caught me on this one time, is at a nice place, and he said, gift card? And I said, yep, gift card. The only time we go out to eat is when I have a gift card that I can't re-gift somehow because it has my name on it or something like that. But I remember one time I was on a trip, not here. I was in another place visiting another church, and there was a group of us that went out, okay? And they were like students. Like no one was rich by any means or anything like that. So we went to this place that they wanted to go to because I knew nothing and it ended up being a bit pricey. But anyway, when in Rome, so I said, you know what, not a big deal. And I'm the only adult here, so you know what, I'm going to at least make a semi-offer to pay. Semi. I'm not going to make a full-fledged offer. I'm going to make a half-hearted and see if they go for it. So a waitress came after we had finished, and I said, okay, we'll take the bill. And she said, no, actually it's been taken care of. And I was like, so I looked around, and no one took care of it. And what do you mean it's been taken care of? And she pointed at some little girl. So I went and found the little girl. Excuse me, ma'am, nice to meet you. She was like 15, 16, something like that. She worked there. Nice to meet you. Hi, how are you? What's going on here? And she said, when Anthony, she had seen me or heard of me or whatever like that, and she said, it would make me so happy to pay for this. And I'm like, young lady, I appreciate that. That's very sweet. I'm very flattered. But you're like 16. I have a stack, okay? You have no stack, okay? Your stack is probably half the size of my stack. It probably took you 2 days worth of working at this restaurant to pay for the meal that me and my expensive buddies just ate. We ordered drinks and everything this time. She insisted. She insisted. I was shamed. She got no stack. And she parted with the little stack that she had very easily. I got big stack. And I'm holding on to every penny of it. People who love and trust money find it difficult to give big. It's a fact of life. I want you guys to say this sentence with me. I'll say it, you repeat after me. God has blessed us with more than we need, therefore we are rich. But we will not trust in riches, but in Him who gives richly. I want you to pray with me today, and I want you to make a declaration of independence today. I will no longer be deceived by riches. I will no longer trust in the tickets. I will no longer think that having a higher stack will make me secure or make me happy. I want to be free from thinking under the influence of wealth and riches. Because security and happiness is something that only God Himself can give. I will stop trusting in my riches, and I will trust in Him who gives richly. I want you to ask yourself, do I love money? And I want you to be honest with yourself. Do I love money? I'm telling you, I didn't time it. What the gospel was today, and what Abuna Bishoy spoke about today in the sermon, I didn't time it that way at all. I was more surprised than anyone else when I saw that was the gospel, when I heard him giving that sermon. But I need everyone to ask themselves the question. Because this question is not a surface question. This is a deep question. Because inside there's a little guy who's got a bunch of these little tickets, and he's sitting there. And most of us don't realize that he's against us. He's not for us. He's against us. And he wants us to get us to trust in these dumb little tickets.